Hey everyone, I've been having a little difficulty with flight plan discontinuities, and yesterday I tried to do a flight and it was just hideous because the flight plan just wouldn't do what I wanted it to. And if it messes up once you're in the air, sometimes you cannot remove the points and you can't change the route that you're on. So once you go over a waypoint and realise that it's gone wrong, it switches to manual mode and just flies you in a direct line from whichever way you were pointing. So if you go over a waypoint and you're supposed to turn right and there exists a discontinuity, instead of turning right you'll just keep flying in the direction you were flying until you run out of fuel and crash or notice it. So yeah, the flight plan I tried to fly yesterday, that was just horrendous because it had me going over towards I was going to fly to Dusseldorf, and it flew me over to France. So I got to about here, and then it wanted me to go all the way to Dusseldorf nearly, then come all the way back again, and then go all the way back to Dusseldorf, and then come back halfway and then go to Dusseldorf. So it was just an absolute nightmare. And what seems to be happening is, no matter what order I tell them to be in, for some bizarre reason, it changes the order of the waypoints, and then you can't change them back. It's worked a couple of times where you can just click on the waypoint that you're approaching, and tell it which one to come next, and then delete the incorrect one. But you have to find it first, and that's a bit of a pain. So I'm just going to do a couple of tests. I'm going to do a Microsoft flight plan straight from the sim, which is this one here. And interestingly, when I first put it in without setting a departure gate, it had me departing on 27 right. And once I put the departure gate in, it's got me departing on 9 left. And as you can see, there are loads of people lined up in different, well, basically facing each other, and they're landing into the oncoming. I mean, it's just what? I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, I mean, we should all be taking off in the same direction, and also this runway should be in use. I mean, if they were sensible, they'd have everyone landing on one runway and everyone taking off on another, or at least taking off in the same direction and landing in the same direction as we're taking off. Obviously, that minimises the chances of a mid-air collision. So I don't know why the sim does this, but it does. So as you can see, there are loads of people lined up for taking off on 27 right. And only a couple of people, well, there's one person waiting for 9 left, or 2 people for 9 left. I mean, you can imagine what would happen if someone was trying to depart, and then they had a puncture, and then they couldn't slow down, and they smashed into a massive line of aircraft at the other. And what are these two doing? Scared my chicken? Oh, no one chicken out. Anyway, that is my preferred gate. So, well, ramp. So I guess we'll fly from there. So this is the flight plan from Microsoft's Flight Sim. I've given it an approach and ILS on 27, which is the runway it set me up on. I'm just going to leave it on direct. And we'll see if we get a flight plan discontinuity. So let's see what happens. So everything's looking okay on that one. So it looks like that one's okay, no worries at all. So the live map shows them in a seemingly 9 left for landing and 9 right for taking off, which makes more sense to me. So that's current as is right now, Heathrow Airport. Landing on 9 left, taking off on 9 right. So once again, no flight plan discontinuity. Now the problem that seems to arise, for me anyway, is once I try and use the Simbrief flight plan, or modify the Simbrief flight plan to match this one. So let's do that then. So BP K5K, that's the same as I've got in Sim. PPK, QTDM5, Brain. So even the Simbrief's got us departing on 9 left when it should in fact be 9 right. But that's okay, because that's given us the same as the Sim's given us. So Brain M197. And it's got us landing on 27 as well. So BPK, brain, red far. Yeah, red far. Okay. So that's roughly how I would set it out, and that's roughly how Simbrief has done it as well, which seems quite intuitive, I guess. So I've downloaded the flight plan from Simbrief. So there's the Simbrief flight plan. It's been output in MSFS 2020 format. And I should have a shortcut here somewhere. There we go. So that should have put it in here somewhere. So we've loaded the Simbrief flight plan in, and it's given us an automatic approach. But we are going to change that to 27 left. Sorry, it's 27, not 2. Getting my Heathrows and my EHAMs mixed up. And of course it won't have my departure, so I've got to put in my departure point. Okay, so that's correct. We're going 09 left, departing by Bipik, red far 1 in, and onto ILS 27. So as you can see now, we've got a discontinuity between Tottery and Bipik. So leave Heathrow, get to BPK, and then from BPK to Tottery there's nothing. So that's our standard departure, our SID, ending at Bupuk, and then we've got an expected discontinuity this time between Bupuk and Totra. So we should be able to take that out because we don't want to. Yeah, I just want to get rid of it. So we'll try and delete that. As you can see, that's quite simply connected those two together now. So that should work okay. And we've got another one between Sugol and Tidvo. That's quite a bad one. So Sugol to Tidvo. Interestingly, that's messed it up. Sugol Tidvo AM639. So the reason I'm getting a bit confused is because Redfar doesn't have a little arrow next to it telling me I can select it. That may be because it's already selected that one automatically. Oh, okay, so because it's curving the flight, it doesn't actually overfly them, so it doesn't correctly switch between those ones. I guess it goes to whichever's close. So Tidvo, AM639, okay, gets missed, and we jump straight to EHAM, which isn't correct because it's, well, it's not the runway anyway. It's going straight to SPA again. Let's lit up SPA. Okay, so that one looks like it's correct. Which does make a change. So that's sort of fixed it. It only had the two errors, or discontinuities. They are in fact errors because, as you could clearly see when we started the flight plan, there was no discontinuity problem there whatsoever. So one of the things I suspect is that the way the fly-by-wire A32NX works is it doesn't assume it knows what's going on, you have to tell it what's going on. So we had to put in our star and our via. So we should be okay. We could fly that flight now. So let's try the Dusseldorf one again, because that was just too bizarre. So we're going to start off from EGLL, Heathrow, and we're going to fly to Dusseldorf. It's 23 left, so that's fine. Put in my standard departure point. We're going to ILS onto 23 left. We're just going to do a direct with that one. We departed on 9 left again. So once again, BPK 5K. Why is that one listed above that one? What the hell? Okay, well we'll match that with the Det 29 departure. Det 29, that doesn't sound right. Why the hell aren't these in alphabetical order? It's ridiculous. Okay, so that's matched it the same as my Simbrief flight plan now. So you can see what it's done. Well, it's just a bit what? It's got us flying over there, then coming back, and then going back again. No idea why. So the VFR is fine. Obviously that is not. So once again we can try and take out this discontinuity just by clearing. Unfortunately it can't resolve it. Second time around it seems to resolve it. So let's carry on and see if there's any more. So between 430 and 450 we've got a manual flying it into 450. Hang on, what's this? Where are we going on that one? What the heck is going on there? Okay, so that's now correctly got us going around that corner instead of flying off into the North Pole or whatever. But we still have these issues where it's making us loop back for some reason. I don't understand why. So we should be okay from debt, surely. We're okay to debt. Okay, that's good. Now, IPVIP. I'm not seeing that light up. But we should be going to get VIP Mokbu. Vabik. Maddox. So from Maddox, it's flying us directly through the east and the middle. Straight over to SC. Then should we go into Sondi? Well, maybe that is a Sondi. Oh, sorry, yeah, that is Sondi. Sondi and L6. So Sondi to L6. Sondi, L6, then back to Det. Well, I mean, that's not right, is it? And we can clear that as that's a repetition of Nick, isn't it? No, apparently not. But Nick is before Sondi. So for some reason Nick has been put after L6. So it should go Maddox, Nick, Sondi. So we need to put Nick back in before Maddox. Oh, good grief, what's it done now? I've put it in the wrong place, okay. Should have been between Maddox and Sun. Okay, so that's the flight plan is now fixed. As you can see, for some reason, when you import the Simbrief ones and then add stuff to it, it doesn't understand what you're doing. So, for some bizarre reason, it put Nick completely out of place, which made us then have to add more waypoints coming back to Det again, which means we would have flown all the way to Germany, then flown from back to London nearly, and then back to Germany again. So yeah, so that's that one fixed.